That second half, it was very lively, but you come away with a point. How do you reflect on the performance tonight?
Really good. Play outstanding first half. Really, really good. We create a lot and we're so tight, so difficult physicality in second half. They make a step up. We were maybe not as much aggressive to control, and after, of course, we give away the goal. But after they come back and they make a proper English game, and so aggressive, so aggressive in the duels, and but in general we make a really good performance.
What did you make of the first half in particular? Because Manchester City had so much possession, but how difficult were Everton to break down until, of course, Jeremy Doku got his goal?
Yeah, they were more difficult for them break down, right? They have one chance, So for more difficult for them than for us, I think we were outstanding. So we arrived by line a lot in shoots and chances. And it's not easy because they play defensively so well with 10 players there, transition with Beto, with Dosbury Hall. And yeah, so we take the point, and until it's over, we can continue.
At 1-0 up, there was a challenge from Michael Keane onto Jeremy Doku. What did you make of that?
Okay, your pundits can say it.
Second half changed, obviously, Everton getting the goal. Where do you feel the differences were then in terms of how open the game was compared to the first half?
No, as a momentum, they were more aggressive. But we had, in general, we were good in our process, and we arrived. Jeremy was outstanding in the left side, and we create a lot. We arrive a lot, and unfortunately, we could not capitalize, especially in the first half, that we did it. So Everton away always is difficult. And I give credit to them for his composed aggressivity and step up, and nothing to say.
How pleased are you with the fight back, though, from your team to get something from the game, get a point? We don't know what this will mean in the title race, but a point will be... Does it look like a positive to you, or obviously...
No, it's better than lose, so we better win, and we play for that, and it just show what the team they are. No, we tried, and everything, the players who come up, they were aggressive, so we have done it.
In terms of the title race then, does it still feel like a blow to you, this performance, this result, sorry?
Well, now it depends on our hands. Before that game, it was in our hands, in the hands of Arsenal as well, but in our hands, now no. So what we have to do is the 4 games that we have in the Premier League, so next Brentford, and they will be quite similar because the competitors are good, and we'll see what happens.
Do you still have to go to every game now, though, with that belief that you can still do it?
Yeah, of course. Like we came here.
Pep, thank you for your time.
You're very welcome.
Because they've done it so many times before, haven't they? And if you're looking for a positive from a Manchester City perspective, Thierry, would you actually, or could you actually argue that they've got the hardest one out of the way?
That's the one I thought, like I said to you, Dave, before at the top of the show, where I thought that they were going to drop points against Everton. I'm going to go back to Arsenal, and I said it again, where I think we can also drop points. Hey, but if you think about it, as he said, they come back into the game. You can see he has to be positive because they still have plenty of points to play. But like I said, the only thing that changed, and he said it, is that now it is in Arsenal hands only.
Yep, and they've only got one away game left. Another positive from a City perspective?
Yes, maybe, but it's a tough game. You talk about that, Thierry felt that could be the toughest game. I mean, that's equally as tough going to Bournemouth away. We've highlighted Bournemouth on this show tonight, in great form. But actually, from an Arsenal point of view, tonight's all about the league, I get that. But I think that tomorrow, can you imagine that stadium tomorrow? The excitement. Yes, they're in a different competition, but the excitement from Arsenal fans, the energy that'll be in that stadium. Get to a Champions League final. The league's in your own hands with how long to go? 2 or 3 weeks to go. But if Arsenal win that game away, next Sunday they've won the league. The league's won. I think that's what it's on. If they beat West Ham, it's on. They beat Burnley, absolutely no problem at home. I think it's on West Ham away. And then, as I said, if Manchester City would have to win maximum points then to take it to the last day. But I think if they win at West Ham away, the league's won.
Well, what a big game that is for Arsenal this coming Sunday. One other incident just to clear up. We had a verdict on it at half-time. Let's have another look. Pep said let's leave it to the pundits to give their view. So, Thierry, do you want this to be a red card?
It's look, you can see here, Jeremy Doku is lucky that it's not properly on his ankle. It's a bit on the top of his foot and he gets him with his other leg. What I will say is, if they bring that back to the referee to see it with VAR in slow motion, which is actually kind of, very impactful, full speed, I think he would have been in trouble, Kim. I do think he would have been in trouble.
But to be clear, they do look at all the incidents, don't they? And
yes,
check whether it's going to be a red card or not. And they were happy to stick with the on-field decision of a yellow card. The bigger significance of that, Jamie, would be the game situation. They were 1-0 up at that point. Everton going down to 10 might have made things a little bit easier for them.
Oh, listen, if that was a red card, the game would have been over, you would imagine. But I think it's a yellow. Listen, I understand it's not a great challenge. It's a little bit out of control. But it's probably in between a yellow and a red. But it's not enough for a red for me. So I think a yellow card's the right decision. Well, we don't know if that point will be vital towards the end of the season. But it almost feels like a situation where almost everybody's disappointed. I think Manchester City disappointed because it felt like they were at ease at 1-0. Arsenal, we sat at home, even though the biggest rivals have dropped 2 points. Arsenal supporters, players, manager, be absolutely devastated that it could have been a defeat for Manchester City. Maybe should have been, but what a game. Unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, what the impact it has on Arsenal, Thierry, who are just thinking, well, that we could have, from an Arsenal point of view, afford to go and lose a game and maybe still be favourites to go and win the title. But that point, how much does it change things?
I wouldn't think about it that way if I was Arsenal, that we can afford to lose a game or whatnot. But now it's back in your hand only. That's a fact. It's not in their hands anymore. And I said it at the beginning of the show. I can see City dropping points at Everton, like I'm worried about the West Ham game. So I'm going to stay in my lane, not celebrate too early because nothing is done. But I could see that happening. When things can happen at Everton at any moment. And I will say that I saw a bit of nervousness with City because they imploded. They technically brought Everton back into the game with some mistakes that this guy we saw that saved one with NDI, and then after we saw the other one, and then there was a good goal. And then the game became crazy.
And people talk a lot about momentum, don't they, in these title races, Jamie? So there you were looking at Manchester City, might have been in a situation where they were winning the game and then could have dropped 2 points. Does this feel very different because they've gone and almost felt like they lost it and now gone on 1 point?
It feels better that you get the equaliser, and it's not just an equaliser. I mean, it was the second goal. 3 seconds after Everton made it 3-1, straight from the kick-off. Haaland goes up the other end and scores. That was just unbelievable to watch. But I go back to, and I hope I'm right on this, I remember when Liverpool and Man City were going for the league in about 2013, I think Man City drew a game at home to Sunderland, who were in the relegation battle. And they scored late on, and it still felt like 2 points dropped, but that point actually won them the league. Now, we won't know how important that point is until the end of the season. But
the Nasri equaliser you're thinking of?
That it was very late, and it still felt like a big result for Liverpool. They dropping points, but it could have been better. Who knows if it'd be that for Arsenal?
Right,
but
here's the numbers then. So that point for Manchester City moves them on to 71. They can still get to 83. That is the magic number. 84 will get Arsenal to the title. Simply for them, win those 3 remaining games, and they are home and hosed. And they can't look at any other way, can they, Thierry?
Yeah, that's what I said to you. We can see that Man City dropped 2 points tonight, but you can't start to think, okay, now maybe there's no maybe. Win your games. Like I said to you, I'm worried for the West Ham one. Like I was worried for City with the Everton one. So do not look at what City are doing right now, because it is in your hand. Win your games, you win the title.
It's funny how you're Arsenal, sat at home, wouldn't it? It's such a strange sort of feeling.
You've got to be delighted, haven't you? Your rival has dropped points.
Of course, but
else.
To see City come back like that, be like, ugh, could have been even better. But listen, it's a great night for them. Of course it is. Yeah, but it's just... Oh, wow.
It's back in their hands, isn't it? Because
that's the most important thing.
It wasn't, and
you don't need to look at what City are doing. It's in your hands.
Yeah, and of course Arsenal have to watch Manchester City go through this all over again on Saturday. It's going to be emotional, isn't it? Hill Dickinson Stadium. And this is how it leaves us now. City 5 points behind Arsenal, so with 1 game in hand. Put simply, Arsenal, if they win those final 3 games, they will be champions for the first time in 22 years. Right, let's get into the analysis on an amazing night. And just one goal in a relatively quiet first half, which City completely controlled. And Thierry, we talked at half-time about the X factor, the players like Jeremy Doku, who can get these little spaces around the box and just create something special.
Exactly that. You see Ryan Cherki getting the ball, Jeremy Doku is going to receive it now. And in this type of situation, you need to create something out of nothing, and that's exactly what he did. And what a goal with his left foot, as you're going to see it here. The goalkeeper doesn't even have to dive, but he did. Pickford, there's no way he can get to that. And what a goal from Jeremy Doku, and they were in total control.
They were in complete control. So then suddenly they just seemed to lose that control in the second half. Jamie, how?
Well, a man who's been much maligned by Evertonians, Tino Barry, came on and he caused huge problems. Mix up, big mistake, Gay, Nunes and then Dai. And when he missed that, I think every Arsenal supporter was thinking of a couple of years ago when Heung-min Son was in a similar position for Tottenham against Manchester City and missed. And we were thinking about that analysis for the end of the game. But Donnarumma reads it. Yeah, he reads it really well. Listen, it's not a great finish. It's his heel, really. But again, as Thierry mentioned, it was more of a mistake for Man City, really. That was getting Everton back into the game. But Barry made a big difference.
This became a theme, Thierry. City making unforced errors.
Old school football. Long to the striker, play the second ball, put the team under pressure. Yes, we all know Barry was offside. I don't know why actually Gay makes that pass, because you know he's offside. You can turn. As you can see here, I mean, it's tough for the defense because you hold the line ever so well. You put him offside, you know he's offside. Okay, I don't know why Gay here doesn't just keep the ball and step out of it, of the defense with it. He knows, okay, he passes the ball.
Then he knows as soon as he's done it, doesn't he?
Exactly. So that's what I was saying. They were nervous at one point. As soon as Everton went a bit more direct, long ball, fighting for the second ball.
What a brilliant finish from Thierry Barry.
Very, very good finish. But, I mean, what a chance to be able to have that, to do that. That's all Man City.
In an offside position, but not offside until he actually interferes with the opponent. This is the wording on that law. A player will be penalised for offside if they are preventing an opponent from playing or being able to play the ball by clearly obstructing the opponent's line of vision. I think we can say he didn't do that. Challenging an opponent for the ball. No? Clearly attempting to play a ball which is close when this action impacts on an opponent, or making an obvious action which clearly impacts on the ability of an opponent to play the ball. Does he do any of those?
No, it was the right decision. Obviously, he goes and speaks to the linesman, Michael Oliver, but they got to the right decision. It's just a really bad mistake from Mark Gay, who's been absolutely outstanding, hasn't he, since he's come to Manchester City. And the thing about it is, he looks away in disgust even before he's had the shot. He knows it's a huge mistake.
Is it the right thing going back? Is it the wrong thing going back? Should he actually turn away, Jamie? What would you be doing in that situation?
Yeah, he can keep... Listen, you can't make a mistake like that at this level of football. It's a simple pass. Yes, he could maybe turn the other way, but, I mean, that is a pass he will play another 10,000 times. Not 100, 10,000, and he will not do that.
To be fair to him, he had 2 outstanding blocks also. To stop Everton scoring.
The noise levels were cranked up. We talked before the game about the possibility of set pieces being a key for Everton. So it proved, creating chaos, Thierry.
Jamie called it. They said if they have a chance to score, he will be on the corner apart from the mistake. But I've been in that situation playing against Everton. If you make them feel that they can, or the fans feel like something can happen in the game, that place goes ballistic quickly, and then it did. What a header.
City were absolutely stunned at this moment. From the leaders evaporated, they're wondering if the title is slipping through their hands, and it gets even worse, Jamie.
Yeah, listen, this place just erupted. You talk about a new stadium. Thierry talks about Goodison Park a lot, but this is one of sort of the great days or great nights at this new stadium. But I mean, the lack of place from Kovacic there was a little bit startling.
Hey, what an assist for Merlin Roll there.
Yeah, he get the assist. It was a miss of a shot.
He had a really good game, though,
He did really well. Yeah, but listen, Barry's there, isn't he?
When it's your night?
Yeah.
It's your night.
And he's the type of guy, Barry, isn't he? I mean, we've said all season, every time you see him, you just want to give him a hug, make sure he's all right.
But
you know
tonight
what I mean?
he would.
Yeah. And listen, it hasn't gone as well as he would have liked, but we can see he's on side there. He reacts well, finishes it well. And at 3-1, you do think that is game over and title over. I mean, I think Mikel Arteta was already getting his bottles of champagne for David Moyes.
Yes,
they were already getting sent, they were getting wrapped.
He still has to sort his feet out, doesn't he, there, Thierry Barry? Because there's that little deflection and he manages to...
Got to be there.
Got to be there.
He was there.
Controls
Taps it in.
I want to see the rest of that celebration. But this is actually from the kick-off, which is incredible. Did they just go to sleep, Everton, here?
I love what Kovacic does, though. Forward. Look. Can I see my guy? Yes. Straight away. There's no need to go to on the outside or whatever. Can you see Alan straight away? And obviously they play that pass because they are losing, because they need to score. But you know how many times that's on for Alan in games?
Simple.
So many times, and you go left, right. But because you have to go forward, you went forward. Control in front of him, pass the ball, and then for him to do that now, to make it 3-2.
And that just
what a finish.
Guaranteed a really nervy last 10 minutes or so at Hill Dickinson tonight. They were really pushing. This is deep into stoppage time. A corner, you see Donnarumma up there. Talk us through what happens next, Jamie.
And then it's just a sprint. Who can get there first? Everton players just excited. You can imagine the crowd being up, think they're going to get another goal. And probably too many of them go forward at once. And before you know it, there's 4 players out the game. But Cherky does brilliant here. Listen, James Garner must be really tired end of the game, but Cherky goes past him brilliantly, stays on his feet. They have to stay on the feet. Time is running out. And then they get another corner.
So 6 minutes are already gone here. You see Michael Oliver. Jamie's pointing him out, so he's already indicating that there's been a substitution, so they're going to play a little bit longer.
You have to stay with Gay here, because when that ball arrived, we were all looking at it, obviously. And I'm like, oh no, he miscontrolled the ball. And the ball goes to, obviously, Jeremy Doku, and we know how we finish. But if you stay with his reaction, look at the goal and look at the reaction of Gay. He doesn't know if he needs to celebrate or he saved me, or I don't know, whatever. He's going to end up having an assist.
Yeah,
but what a goal.
With his left foot. Now he does it with his right foot. And you wondered actually the chance had gone there. He was going to shoot there, but he goes into more bodies.
I think that we're going to have another angle from behind. I mean, that's what I said. You don't need to hit it hard. You just have to place it well and make sure that he goes this one. That's a beauty. That's just a beauty. There's no way you can get that. And he was outstanding.
What a
tonight.
Season he's had, Thierry. When you think of the wide players under Pep Guardiola, you think of Sane and Sterling, you think of Mahrez. Brilliant. I mean, David Silva, a bit more tucked in, but they've had great wide players, and they've probably lacked that in the last 18 months or so, but he's really come to the fore this season.
96-49 when Doku snatched an equaliser in the most incredible 3.
And that word belief, we talked about it. You've been in title races. I mean, how important is that now that it's in Arsenal's hands? In the space of 96 minutes, it's changed.
Yeah, obviously Arsenal momentum, and he's with them now. And the belief for City, they just have to try and just give themselves every opportunity. The last thing they would want to do is drop more points than Arsenal, then slip up in one of the fixtures, and all of a sudden it's what if we just win there, if we just got a draw, or just got a win there. But that isn't going to be the case. And like I said before, you're looking at these fixtures; they're very favourable for Arsenal. You would expect them to go on and to get 9 points from the remaining 3 games.
But you have to, as City, Michael, respond straight away at home to Brentford, go within 2 points of them, and then try and put a little bit of pressure on that West Ham game.
It's the only option, isn't it? They have to win the next game, put that little bit of pressure on. West Ham fighting for their lives. You know, you never know what can happen. Pressure does things to people. Arsenal know a thing or two about that in recent seasons. So they've just got to put as much pressure as possible now. It was a bad result tonight for them. But they get to play first. That might be a positive. If they can get those 3 points on the board now, Manchester City, then all of a sudden it does say, right then, Arsenal, go on, see if you can go and complete the task. And if they don't, then City have just got to be there, ready to pounce. But it's looking like Arsenal's now.
It is. Tolian, Michael, thank you very much indeed. Another big twist then in the title race. No winner on Merseyside because Manchester City do come back to get a draw. It's certainly a win.
Got it back so close, and having beat Arsenal in recent weeks, and then your confidence is sky high. You really think you're going to go on and see the job through, and that hasn't been the case. And yeah, we knew before tonight's fixture this was going to be a difficult one for City, and it proved to be.
And Arsenal with just 3 league games to play, one of them against relegated Burnley at home, won against Crystal Palace. I mean, you would think in 6 days' time, the big hurdle away at West Ham, would you say if they win that, that's it?
That's the one, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's the one, I think. West Ham still got so much to play for. There's going to be an unbelievable atmosphere. And they don't, I think West Ham, with it being a sort of a derby, of course, a London derby, I think, there'll be that added little incentive as well. If they get through that unscathed, then you can't see anything stopping them. And the pressure's been on them. They've dealt with it so far in the last couple of games. And you look at the fixtures, they have got a favourable set of fixtures compared to Manchester City. So, well and truly in Arsenal's hands now. They'll be delirious going to bed tonight, having seen that. They nearly got everything. But if you had asked them at the start of the night, would you take them just dropping 2 points? They would have absolutely done that. So, big advantage to Arsenal. And time will tell whether that last gasp Doku goal is anything to go by. But no, it's Arsenal's night.
I mean, there's been twists and there's been turns, and as a City player, you'd have to believe. But really, as I say, if you're going to believe there's going to be a twist, it can realistically only happen at West Ham. Yeah,
it's more of a hope than believe now. You're hoping that there's a negative performance result tomorrow in Champions League, and that has a knock-on effect into the Premier League. But again, I said they would be aware of this, whether they watched it or not. They'll be very aware of this result tonight, and that will give them a huge lift, confidence-wise, for the remaining fixtures.
And it's a difficult situation for City now, because they know it's not in their hands, but they also know to give them any chance, they just have to win and bounce back. Yeah, it is. It is difficult, but there's still an FA Cup final. Still a trophy to play for, so you still want to have some form of momentum and confidence going into that game. So, yeah, what is there 2 games prior to that? But yeah, it will take a long time to get over this today.
It is. It's. I mean, it's heartbreaking if you're a Manchester City fan. Half of their fans walked out the game, with 10 minutes to go, and then a goal was scored straight from kickoff, and all of a sudden it's that might have a chance still, and then to score again. I mean, it was an unbelievable comeback. But a point at this stage of the season, Jolien mentioned it before the game, Manchester City haven't gone 10 games unbeaten or 10 wins on the spin all season. Was it a bit much to ask? I mean, they've been in cracking form, beating some brilliant teams in recent weeks. But to keep going and to keep winning games with a team that haven't done that for a long time was maybe asking a little bit too much. But they showed their resolve, they showed their fight. But it's just it just feels like it's Arsenal's now to lose. 69 minutes played, they're leading 1-0. I mean, it was a remarkable script when we look back at it. And Mark Gahey gets punished. I mean, obviously, your position, your old club, you can put yourself in his shoes at this point. This will go back, looking back on it, as a huge turning point in the evening. Oh, huge. Again, and from experience of doing something similar in the QPR game, and fortunately for me, we went on to win the game and win the title, and I'll be surprised if he sleeps tonight off the back of this. And it's an honest mistake. That's the thing I can give him. He's not trying to do anything clever. He's trying to set the goalkeeper so we can go long. But yeah, obviously the ruling of it was right in regards to it being a clear, deliberate back pass by the defender, which makes it a new phase. Yeah, and again, there is an argument, is he gaining an advantage by being offside and being that close to the ball when the pass was made, but the rules are set. But going back to Mark and how he's going to be feeling, he's going to be devastated. Yeah, I mean, what a fantastic time he's had since he signed at Manchester City. He's been absolutely brilliant, hardly made a mistake, and in the biggest game of all, when you can't make any mistakes, he makes a big one. And as Jolien says, he won't be sleeping tonight. And if Arsenal go on and win the league, this will be a memorable 284 seconds in the title run, because it was a complete turnaround in just that time, from 1-0 to 2-1, and they look shell-shocked, Manchester City, at this point. Yeah. The game was quite an average one in the first half, a moment of quality right at the death for the Doku goal to go 1-0 up, but apart from that, it was quite a quiet first. The second half exploded into life. Now, this is the corner that led to the goal. Is this a corner? I think it is, I think it is. I think Njai just gets there first and then it comes off Thierry. But, I mean, listen, you could forgive a referee if he made a bad decision, but very, very difficult corner to defend. Plonked right on the near post. Goalkeeper doesn't get to it. Obviously, he's surrounded like a lot of goalkeepers are nowadays, but there's nothing wrong with that goal. That's a well-worked corner kick.
Yeah, quality cross. He was outstanding all night, James Garner, in every aspect of his game. But yeah, the cross comes in, and there was a lot of numbers for Man City there, and you would have hoped one of them got the first contact. But O'Brien, who I thought had a tough night with Doku, obviously comes up trumps with a goal. Yeah, and at that point, obviously, City are hoping to score next. But as I say, they looked a bit shell-shocked, and then suddenly, in the blink of an eye, it was 3-1 to Everton. Yeah, and this is me hoping there was offside. And again, this is probably one of the strange decisions for me, for Mark. I'm thinking your job isn't to go and win the game for Man City. I know you've made a mistake, but you still have to keep a level of composure. And again, Rose, you had a few top moments tonight. Breaks forward and Kovacic tries to make a tackle, and again they're fortunate with this deflection, but Barry with a very nonchalant finish there. Yeah, and there was a little bit of fortune about, obviously, this attempt was an attempt at goal, and he miscued it, and it took a deflection and just goes perfectly in the path of Barry, who was a real thorn in the side of Manchester. It's extraordinary, isn't it? He's left out tonight. He scored one goal in 11 games, and he comes in, has 2 shots, 2 goals in one game off the bench. And caused them all kinds of problems. He was very good when he came on. It was a good game to come on because it was almost end to end. There was so much going on. So for a centre forward, it was a free punch in many ways. But he was very good. And at that point, you just thought, as I said before, the Manchester City fans thought, that's it, it's over. We thought, that's it, it's over. But incredible comeback. And straight from the kick-off, Haaland. Oh, yeah. I mean, what? If this didn't have the storylines, we'd be going through these goals and really looking. But what about that for a first touch from Kovacic, and then the vision and the weight of the pass, and then the finish? I mean, Everton obviously will be absolutely fuming from the kick-off. But look at that for a goal, absolutely incredible. And straight away, within seconds, their tails are back up, and can they go and get the equaliser? Eventually, they did. But that's an incredible goal, incredible. So that was 82. Then we had the extra 6 minutes of stoppage time, and then Doku did his business again, like he did in the first half. And as I say, if it was halfway through the season, we'd be talking about a memorable game and a brilliant point. But who knows what this goal will mean, if anything. Yeah, hopefully there's some level of importance to it. It's another top finish from Doku. Again, I thought was probably, along with Jimmy Garner, arguably the best players on the pitch. A thorn in Everton's side all night. And yeah, is it going to mean something, hopefully, for Man City? But it just feels different. It doesn't feel like a point gained. It feels like 2 lost. Yeah. I mean, similar to his first goal in many ways, on the opposite side. Some skill being able to do that with your left foot and then flip sides and do it with your right foot. And, if he adds goals to his game, then he can be an incredible player. And it's extraordinary as well. We're talking about the title race, but they were Everton. There was David Moyes, who's never beaten Pep Guardiola in his managerial career, at 3-1 up, thinking this is the night. And 3 games in a row, they've conceded in a stoppage time. Yeah, I know. He'll be devastated because, again, it was mentioned in commentary that they aren't thinking about the title race. They're thinking about their outcome and their objectives. They certainly are. And our good friend, the skipper, James Tarkowski, is waiting to speak to us. Good to see you, James. And we were just saying there, I mean, at 3-1, you must have been thinking, well, this is the night. This is when we beat Manchester City.
Yeah. So disappointed. The second goal loses us, makes us not win the game, really. I've switched off and I've got to take accountability for that. Can't let someone like Haaland run through the middle of the pitch, simple pass and goal, and then you're dreading the rest of the game then, thinking you concede a third and you end up drawing. So the third one, Doku's put 2 in the stand shape of foot, so I'm not too sure what else we can do about them, but the second one's really disappointing. And also, as I just mentioned, I mean, it's galling for you boys. That's 3 games in a row now, 90-plus minute goals. Yeah, no, it hurts. It hurts. for most of the season we defended ever so well in them late moments. We had a few 1-0 wins away from home, which were all about us defending our goal, and to concede 3 late goals recently, yeah, as I said, it really hurts. And as I said, I think the second one cost us the 3 points in the end, because the third one, to put it in the stanch late on from there, I'm not even sure the call was meant to go there. So how it ends up turning to goal is, strange.
It was an extraordinary second half, wasn't it? I mean, the comeback from you guys, from 69 minutes, 2 goals in 2.5 minutes, 3-1 up.
Yeah, we made it into a bit of a battle. I think first half we were far too passive. They seemed to get to the edge of our box too easily, outnumbering us in all different positions of the pitch. And to go in at 1-0, we're probably quite fortunate, really, because we didn't play great at all. Second half, we managed to get a bit more pressure on the ball, get the crowd behind us, force them into mistakes, and then probably could have had 4 or 5, to be honest. We made some massive chances, and yeah. The game was a bit of a basketball match second half, but it played into our favour for most of it, apart from the very end.
Tarky, it's Michael Owen. I was just wondering, though, once you dust yourself down, of course, it's been a very solid season. If you finish it strong, still European football, I mean, would you have believed that at the start of the season, or was that your aim?
Yeah, we're ambitious. We know the quality we've got, the players we signed in the summer, along with the players that we already had here. So our expectations were to really push ourselves at the table, and the table now is just ever so tight. So we need a strong finish. We've lost 2 points tonight. We lost a point last weekend, so we could have been in a lot better position. But it's still all to play for going into these final 3, and we really need to put some wins on the board. So let's see what we do. As I say, it's ever so tight, so you could end up anywhere from 6 to 15 if it looks at the moment. So there's a lot to play for.
It's incredibly tight, and that's important, isn't it, when you get over the disappointment of tonight, to move on with these 3 huge games to see where it takes you?
Yeah, definitely. I think we're looking at 7 games to go. We felt like we needed 3 wins, and we've not won yet in them 7 games. So 3 to go, maybe 3 wins on the board, but let's see where that takes us. Another opportunity at the weekend, go to Palace and see how we do there.
Well, good luck with that. Appreciate you coming out to talk to us, mate.
Thank you. Cheers.
It's James Tarkowski, the Everton captain, live at Hill Dickinson, and his frustrations from an Everton point of view, equally understandable.
Yeah, definitely. And like you say, when you can see that late on, it always feels a lot worse. But if you're put it in perspective, if you're saying you're facing Man City, or confidence is sky high, they've won the last 6 games, would you take a point before the game? You would have snapped your hands off. But the circumstances play a factor into the emotion side of it. And yeah, when you come away and you've played a part, like he feels he played a part in conceding, he'll be devastated as well.